Hello, welcome back. I'm Lorenza Nicole Molina, aka the Black Butterfly Queen, La Reina Mariposa Negra, and this is View from the Throne. Welcome back. I appreciate you stopping by once again. Like I always say, you could have spent any of your time with anyone else, but thank you for spending your time with me. We know that today we have so many things on our plate, and so I appreciate you taking time to take time with me. So I don't know when you're going to hear this, but I hope it finds you good. And I hope your day is going well, or your week, or your month, or even your year. But if it's not, I hope that this is a good break from all the things that are going on around you. And I hope that it can bring some calm and add good to you. Now, that being said, I want to go ahead and jump right in. And the thing I want to talk about is my topic is now or never. Seems kind of typical, right? Now or never. Actually, sidebar reminds me of those candies called Now or Laters. They were pretty good, but they always got stuck in my teeth. But anyway, sometimes we think we have later and we don't. The truth is, we don't know what we have later, and we can't really rely on what we've had before. We can only operate in now. Now is the only sure time that we have. And now is constantly shifting and shaping itself into something new. Now is consistently different. And all you are guaranteed in that moment is the moment that you have. And I think now or never is a good concept sometimes. And the reason why it's a good concept is because we really don't know any other time. When the past is just us remembering the past, is just us remembering the now that we just experienced or experienced before. The future is the now that we hope to experience, hope that that is good. But the now that we know is the present. I hate to rip this off from Kung Fu Panda, but it is truly a gift. I had a hard time living in my now. I was so focused on my future. And not in the best way, in the very most anxious way. I was very unhappy where I was in life. I was very unhappy with the things going on around me. And the only way to escape was to daydream. Because at that time, I was a kid. And I didn't have really a lot of say over certain things. And I escaped through daydreaming. I escaped through thinking about what I wanted to be, which is not bad, but it made me anxious, in a way where it was like nothing right now was going to be good enough because it wasn't reflecting anything of my later. I had dreams and I loved drawing and painting. I loved doing track. I like running. I liked being active and part of something bigger than me. But as a kid, I wasn't always able to do those things. Wasn't always able to be a part of something bigger than me. And I had to wait for that. I understood that at the time that adults, to me, had all the power. And I was going to have to wait until they said that we could do or not do something. I think a lot of us understand the feeling when we hear our parents say, maybe one day. It felt like my whole life was the one day. It was always maybe one day. It felt like everything was one day. One day we'll do this. One day we'll be that. One day we'll go here. And I just wanted that one day to be today. And it put anxiety or anxiousness or me feeling unsatisfied with my present. My present wasn't very pleasant all the time. It wasn't always happy. And I tried to make the best of it. But it was nowhere close to the dream, the daydream, realizing that it really truly was my vision in life that I wanted to do, wanted to be, wanted to grow up and become, that I was dreaming about. And although It was like a carrot in front of me, helping me to walk towards something. After a while, that gets old. And you start sinking into your now like quicksand. You get depressed. And you can't see how you're going to get out of this. Quicksand is something that you step in, right? That if you wiggle around too much in it, you'll sink further. And you need somebody typically, usually, to help you get out. I didn't know who was going to help me out. I was suffocating in now. And the hope for my future was dimming. Because I did not know how to live in now. Now had chaos. Now it was too loud. And I really felt like if I couldn't do something now, then I started believing that if I couldn't do something now, then I never would be able to. And that's why sometimes the phrase now or never can be good, but sometimes it can be bad or a bad way of thinking. And I started having suicidal thoughts because of that. If I can't have it now, then I'm never going to have it. If I can't get out of this now, I am going to just die here. I'm either going to die from sorrow or I'm going to just take myself out. And God showed up in my now. I remember telling God, I need him to do something now or I was going to. And I meant that with every part of me. And mind you, I was a believer, but being a believer doesn't change that you feel depressed sometimes. Being a believer doesn't change that you're human. It gives you an option. It lets you know that you can overcome, but it doesn't mean that have the tools to apply what that means for you. And it really takes a community. And this is why we do need to assemble ourselves with one another. This is why you can't be judging people when they come to church or a function any kind of way. This is why it is very, very messed up to be self-righteous. It is messed up to gossip about people because you never know what's going on in there now. And if you keep talking about them, they may not have a later. It's important to understand that some people's now is like a black hole, crushing them. They don't see later. God saved me. I told him now or never, because that's what I believed. And there's this minister that got sent to my mom's friend's church. And I didn't have the language for what I was going through. A lot of people thought I was okay. And that's the problem. I looked like myself. It looked like I was okay, but I was not okay. And this man came and he spoke to me. He spoke to my brothers. And he spoke to my mom and my parents at the time. My parents. And not my parents at the time, but my parents, Lord Jesus. But he spoke to all of us, revealing all of us were dealing with something in our now. And I probably wasn't the only one feeling like there was no later. And it's crazy how there can be so many people in the house and you feel alone. And I found out my brothers were a lot more like me that day, feeling each other, feeling all the things we were going through, all the things our family had went through, seeing our mom go through what she was going through, trying to make sure we were good, trying to be there for us while so many were coming against her. And it just, your realization of that you're not alone right now is good. It doesn't take away the personal torment necessarily or the fact of what you went through. You know how people say, well, you don't know what I'm going through, it's just me. No, I may not know exactly what you're going through. And me telling you that I'm here for you isn't me trying to take that away from you. Say that I just get it. It's me letting you know that I'll sit with you right now. So right now I'm sitting with you. And I don't know what you're going through. I don't know how hard it's been. But I hope that you feel like you have a little company right now. Because it's so important that you get to later. Later, this is the thing what I learned after I got free from the weight. I mean, when that man prayed for me, that minister prayed for me, I felt pain leave my body. I could breathe. I could think clearer. He revealed everything that was coming to my mind, every attack. I hadn't had an experience like that before then. And after that, I realized how important it was for me to stay here right now because I had a later and I didn't need to be anxious for it, but it didn't mean that it left me so easy. But what I encountered a lot of other trials and tribulations after that. That didn't mean life just automatically was easy, but it became livable. And the reason why I say that, because then I knew for myself that I really wasn't by myself, in myself. It wasn't about people or what type of parents or I had or didn't have or my brothers or anybody else. It was about God was with me. He showed himself to me that he really was there for me. Everybody sees God differently, so the way you may meet him, see him, experience him is not going to be the same, and it doesn't need to be. It needs to be right for you. I realized that a lot of my suffering was because I did believe in him. I realized that a lot of my suffering was because of who I was going to be or becoming. Becoming. I realized that who I was later was a threat. And this is why these things happen. These things happen in our mind. When we deal with life, the thoughts that come to it, the invasive thoughts that come to our mind, those things those things that are made or set up to take advantage of the everyday moment, the everyday life, to make you feel like you're worthless or that you can't do something, and you can. We have so much power in faith, in believing in God, and all these things, in our yes and in our no's. We give things power. And for argument's sake, for those who believe, don't believe, but just for argument's sake, let's say the enemy is true and truly real. Or some people like to say negative energy, but the enemy, no matter how you flip it, let's say he's real. And you are a threat to him. And you don't know it, but he knows it. There's a mark on you, like a birthmark. That birthmark is a mark that says what kingdom you belong to. You can't see it, but he can. You don't even know how great you are. Wouldn't it be in his best interest to create a low self-esteem, disbelief? Because once you find out who you are, there is no stopping you. He cannot actually stop you. It is what you believe. He needs us to take us out. He needs us to give him the permission to. It says that the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. Seeking who he may devour. Like a lion, So he's not the real Lion of Judah. He's imitating strength, pretending, acting, seeking it out, hungry to kill, steal, and destroy if he can. Looking for permission, looking for entryways to knock you out of position or create disbelief. Says if he can't take your life, he's going to try to take your light. He's going to try to mess with your faith. Because boy, when you believe something, can't nobody stop you when you believe something that is good or bad. We all have faith. People say, I lost my faith. No, you just flipped it. You either believe in something or you don't believe in something, but that still takes faith to not believe it. It takes faith to worry. You have to, the opposite of positive faith is worry. I didn't understand when God would tell us that we could choose. We can choose to believe. Your now may not be what you want it to be, but you deserve to find out who this now is for later. It's not just for people, it's for you. And some of us deal with circumstantial depression, and some of us deal with things that just seem to live with us, and we need more help, maybe than somebody else in certain areas. But there's nothing wrong with that. All I know is that it doesn't matter the mistakes people have made. God makes none. You were supposed to be here. There's something about you that no one else can do. You matter, and you're not just taking up space. You're the matter in the space that matters. You're not just here for everybody else, but there's something about you that's unique for you. Something about you that you should love and enjoy. There's always going to be something not to be happy about, something that we don't feel good about. But there's always good. The light shining. When I look at the sunlight and it shines, it makes me think about the fact that, yeah, we live in a world of shadows, but we wouldn't even know that if we never had the light. It gets dark at night, but that darkness really makes that moon look really beautiful. For every star, there's a black hole to help it move and turn. You may feel deeply, deeply sad all the time about something. Maybe chemical, maybe circumstantial. But I hope that it's not always about trying to get rid of the situation or get rid of anything. It's about what we choose to focus on. I hope today that you can focus on anything wonderful, good, loving. And, I want to say loving, but let's face it, not all of us really know what love is, and we've experienced some negative love. Not good. My now was terrible to me. Somehow I'm here right now. I'm living the later that I almost cheated myself out of. Is it perfect? No. But was it worth staying here? Yeah. I've gotten so much since then. I've found out how strong I really am. I found out how beautiful I am. I found out how gifted I am. I found out that those daydreams were visions, like I said. They were what I was actually going to be. And the reason why it didn't match my now at the time, because that was a trial and those tribulations. And it was only a few puzzles in the box that I had pulled out. I hadn't seen the full picture yet. And to be honest, I'm still putting it together. But it's starting to make sense, starting to come together a bit. Ain't nobody gonna fight somebody that ain't worth fighting. Ain't nobody gonna be scared of nobody that ain't holding something that can take them out. Just think about that before you give people the right to tell you if you should live or die. Your right now is like a key to everything later. It may suck, it may not be comfortable, but I realize if I can't time travel in the past, but I can kind of time travel in the future by what I do right now. What do I have the choice to do right now? What say do I have? It's not about what people keep trying to do to me, but what can I really do? And sometimes you got to really start thinking, have I really explored all of my choices? Or have I just believed I can't for a long time? Do I dare to think that I can do something different right now and not be worried about later? Not be worried about if I can get to later? Because what you do right now, what you choose, not what's necessarily happening to you, but what you choose to be right now, helps you to be everything you need to be later. You're going to win. And if you really look around, you probably already won some battles that have been covered up by a lot of pain. I know sometimes you're tired of fighting right now. I know it feels like quicksand. I know it feels like never. I feel like there is no later. But listening to me right now, time has already passed. Later has already been coming. One thing I can guarantee you, later is there. Later is always coming. Time is always moving. Something has to give. You can't stay forever in the same place, in the same situation. This topic was actually supposed to go a different direction, but I've kind of felt like maybe it needs to go this direction. All I know is that I had a horrible couple of nows collected together in my past. And I have no idea what some of my nows are going to look like in my future, but I do know that God is always going to be a part of it. He wants me here, and his will is greater than anybody's opinion. And I just want to say, if you're dealing with a lot of flack from people, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's where you are. Maybe it's the city, the job, the school. Maybe it's even the country. But sometimes it is the world against you. It feels like the world that you know. But just know that there's so many other versions of this world, so many different perspectives that you don't know. And I think that every person that wants to be here should be here. And every person that has been put here deserves to know the good, to be the good, to experience it. It's now. It's your turn right now. And sometimes the change that we're looking for is in us. We want to be happy. We're tired of certain things. And it's in you to do. And the only time that you've been given is now. No other time really truly exists. It's only a now collected for your past or your future. And so here comes the flip side of now and never. You choose you now, whenever that now is, or you choose you never. You choose you today, right now, or you choose you never. Because now is the only time we really exist in. So it's now, or it's never. You only have right now to choose you, to choose to be happy, to choose to win, to choose. And when you choose you, that's when you win. The past is a collection of nows that we have already lived, and the future is a collection of nows that we have yet to step into. So if the future is still now, and the past is still now, it shows us that time is not really that linear, that what we want we can have today by choice. You can choose. You're forever now. You're forever life. You're forever everything about you right now. You don't have to be ruled by pain already experienced or fear of things you don't know. You can rule. You can be the ruler with choice and with God. Have your own kingdom. Have your own land. Don't look at other people's cards. Don't look at what they have. We always see what we want. We don't see what it took to get there. You can do a lot with the soil you have. It may be a little hard. You may need to break it up some. You may need to use your bare hands for a while. But yeah, you can do something with your right now. Already making up in your heart and mind is the first thing and the biggest thing. Because whatever a man thinks, so is he. And out of the heart of a man, he speaks. So what you believe, what you think, will naturally begin to manifest. If that's what you put into you. You got to put the work in. It's not going to be easy. But don't you deserve it? Don't you deserve it? Don't you deserve to experience your right now? Don't you deserve to own everything that's for you right now? You have a business in mind? Guess what? You can have it right now. Right now. By choice. Meaning, oh, it's mine. I already agree that it's mine. I already believe that it's mine. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting that work in. There you go. That's how you receive it. Put the work in. That's how you receive what's yours. Sometimes you can't go directly and put the work into the business. Sometimes you got to get yourself out of the situation so you can put yourself into the position to get the thing. Go ahead, do that. Ask yourself, what is it that you want? What is it that you want your now to look like? And then ask God, what does he want your now to look like? And then ask God, what do I need to do for that to happen? Or what do I need to stop doing? Where do I need to go? Do I need to move? Do I need to let go of this job? And if I do need to let go of it, show me how to do it in the order and fashion that you need me to do it in. I don't know if any of this makes sense, y'all. It may sound like I'm just rambling. But I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm doing this podcast recording right now. Um, it's a little late, and there my challenge for myself has been to just get it done because I want my life to look different, and I want um to be better for myself in the areas that I need to be better at. Like, I just, you can be a good person, you can be wonderful, all that great, but are you the person you need to be right now? And the idea that I have for myself, the image that I continue to see in my mind when it comes to who I need to be, is a person who finishes, who does her things right now. Not procrastination, not waiting, but right now. There's a lot of times in my life before, there's a lot of things sometimes in life that happen where you cannot act in your now like you want to. And you get so used to waiting that when the wait is over, you don't know to leave the waiting room of life. You don't know how to stand up and walk anymore, let alone run. And I need to do the thing I waited to do for so long. Like I said, when I was a kid, when I was younger, I was depressed. I thought of all these things because I didn't want to, I just gave up on later ever happening. But I'm in my later now. And that little girl, she would be big-eyed and crying because it wasn't a waste. I'm talking about my past pain. I'm talking about my issues here. And didn't know that God would tell me to do a podcast. Something I have expressed that I never really saw myself doing. I was so stuck in the pain of that now. I almost missed out on the wonderfulness of this one. And when I think about it, I know I've grown all up now. I'm so grateful that I decided to get up when I realized that the wait was over, that I have power to move around, move my legs. And I've been wobbling a little bit. Sometimes I try to run and fall sideways. I'm not perfect at this new thing, but I get to do it finally. I've waited long enough. The waiting portion is over. This is my now or never. That's it. Who I want to be is who I am right now. On top of it, who I want to be is who I am right now, working on my purpose. Who I want to be is who I'm right now, deciding to be obedient when I don't know what it's supposed to look like later, because all that I have is now. I got to do my best with my right now, and God is going to work it out for me, and I will see it in my later, like I am seeing things in my later right now. I gave up, but God didn't give up on me. I want to be disciplined, so I showed up right now. I did what I want to be. I want to be better at it, so I'm doing it right now. I can't wait for later to come hoping that I'll be better then without putting the work in. I am already in my later when I show up in my now the way I'm supposed to be. I am winning. I am snatching up my gift. I am snatching up my dream. I am holding it in my hand. I am experiencing it. I am experiencing it by putting the work in, the work that it takes to be in the vision that I saw. Because see, a vision is just a snapshot. It's a Kodak moment. It's a picture. It's not the experience. I can't dream no more. Dreaming is not bad, but I can't live a life of dreaming. I can't live a life of looking at the carrot. It's time to eat. I'm coming to my table. I'll walk through my valleys to get here. It's time to eat. Grace has been said. The plates and the table settings are all there. And this is just the first course. It's time to eat. It's time to get it. It's time to win right now. I get to live in my future happy because I'm living the work that I got to put in. I'm doing it right now. I get to be proud of myself right now, not later. I don't have to wait till later to be proud of myself. I don't have to wait till later to experience a wonderful life. Nobody's tying my hands. I'm in a place where I can choose. If you are in that place, do it. Am I as consistent as I want to be yet? No, but I know that I am going to become more and more consistent because I keep choosing to show up. Since this is new, I don't know what consistency looks like for this place yet. Since this is new, I don't know what the organization, the schedule, all those things, all the things that I want to know what it looks like and etched out for me. I don't know what it looks like for this place yet because nothing from before is going to work for where I'm trying to go because what I've been looking at never looked like where I was. So I got to do something now that looks like where I'm going. Now it makes sense. Then I have arrived at where I've been trying to get to this whole time. And God is the only one that can really guide you in it. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Okay? I really need to remember these scriptures, the actual where they come from, so I can tell y'all. Because this stuff be coming to my head, but I do not, some people be knowing the scriptures named to the T. But these things come to my head, and I hope you take notes so you should write those parts down so you can look them up for yourself later. Child, you just say it into Google. It'll show you all of them. Okay? But I gotta do, I waited for this. I had a different instruction before. For whatever reason. And I had to wait. I don't gotta wait no more. So I'm not finna wait behind me. I'm not finna get in my own way. But let's face it, we get used to things. We have to relearn how to do what we were trying to do when we couldn't do it yet. When we had to bite the bullet, not let go, and know that later is coming just by being obedient. And sometimes we got to do things that don't look like it's going to get us to where we're going. But if it's something God told you, do it. Why would he lie? People have lied to you. People have broken your heart. And they will continue to lie. Because that's people. But what does that got to do with you trusting God? And child, believe me, I'm speaking to myself. Because I'm human and I've had this issue. And I'm working on a lot of those things right now, child. But this is why I got to keep showing up. Right now. I can't worry about yesterday. That already happened. Because I already lived that. And I can't worry about now. It will never happen. If I don't show up for myself right now, you look around your life and you're like, this is what I want my later to look like. What can I do right now to change my life? You would be surprised the simple little things that you do to change your life. Little things. Just little things. That change is you stepping into your future. That's it. That's all it really takes. People think it's this big thing, and really, you just saying yeah. And saying, you know what, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to start now. And don't think that starting looks a certain way. Starting is whatever, because like, and let me explain that. Sometimes we think, for instance, in the entertainment industry, um, people think that it's getting on the set and working as when you start, but that's not it. It's the studying you do when there's nobody around. It's the investments that you take out of your own pocket financially to go work on that acting class. Get work on your job, your skill. It's making that YouTube video or learning how to make the video in the first place. Studying the equipment that you need. That's when you start. When you start reading on it, reading about it. Okay, I need to figure out what this thing is. When you go to the school and you look up the classes that you're going to need to take to get the degree that you need so you can be in the field that you need to be in, that's when you started. You say, you know, I'm going to go ahead and stop and put this application in. You pulling into that driveway, you just started. You pulling into that parking lot, you just started. It's a choice. That's all it is. And then it's another choice. And then it's another choice. And those choices are the steps that you continue to take on the path that you decided to go down when you made the choice to turn into that parking lot, to pick up those books, to look up the YouTube video, to study the new technology, whatever it is that you need to do. When you do that, that's when life changes. That's when it changes. It doesn't look like it yet, but you just changed it by the way you move. Your movements are already changing. That's when it changed. You know, the butterfly effect is supposed to be, butterfly flapping its wings is such a subtle thing, but it affects everything. And if you step on a butterfly, then it can change things tremendously, because even the flap of a butterfly wings shifts the atmosphere. That's pretty much the gist of that. Your choice is way stronger than butterfly wings. It's your life. You are the main character outside of God, if that's what you believe, in the story. And you are the side character in a lot of other people's stories. But your story, you're the main one. And how you choose to lead that story is what changes it. No one else can change it but you. God don't even force us to do anything, but He will show you why it's important for you to. There's a lot of things that have been stored up for you waiting, but you can't get it because you didn't step to the right. You didn't just step out of one place into another. You didn't make a simple choice. Just one step over, and you're in a whole nother lane. That's all you need to do. One step over. And you begin to win. I'm going to keep choosing my now. Because my now right to me is my future. What I do right now affects everything. When I do something now, I time travel and I make my future greater. If you look at it in a linear sense. Showing up for my purpose, I have show up everywhere in my life for myself. I show up for my past self. I show up for my future. I show up for my now. I show up for my everything. I make everything I've gone through have a purpose. It's unwasted. You don't need to carry yesterday. You don't need to wonder about tomorrow. Just show up today. Be present. Be present. Because it's only now that really matters. You can try to, of course, have a schedule and a plan and all that stuff so you can have order and all that. But it means nothing if you're not going to put it into work right now. Right now. And don't let now, pain of now, tell you that you have no later. Just ask God, what do I do right now? Doesn't have to make sense. I just need to know how I need to move so I can set up my later to be what it needs to be. What do you need me to do right now? How do I need to move right now? How do I get out of the situation? What are the steps I need to take? And sometimes God will only show you one thing at a time because he needs you to follow through and finish it before he gives you the next thing, because giving you too much right now would be overwhelming. Because you're already overwhelmed by all the strain and stress. Why would God want to overwhelm you? Like, God, you're not telling me everything. I'm just telling you one thing at a time because you don't need everything at once. Just a little bit at a time. Just a little bit. Well, that's all I have to say for now. I'm corny, guys. I'm sorry. I hope this was good for you. Thank you once again for stopping by. I hope your day, your morning, your evening, your week, your month, your year, whenever you are listening to this, that you're blessed, that you're okay, and if you're not okay, that you find the peace that you need. And I appreciate the listen. And I just want to remind you, like I do every time, that it doesn't matter if your crown is tilted, if it fell, or if it's cracked. It still shines. So pick it back up, dust it off, and put it back on your head. You're still king, you're still queen, you're still royalty. T.D. Jakes said something. A dime may get stuck in the mud or get dirt on it, but it don't change its value. Don't matter how dirty you are, you matter, and you still got value. I'll talk to you later. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, before I forget, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And if you're interested in seeing anything else that I do, you can go in my description and hit my link tree and follow any page from there. Thanks again. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.